A bit of Benny Goodman and Let's Dance, and there was plenty dancing going at Baston and the Blitz. If you go to the website, bastonblitz.org, it's got details of next year's dance as well. And I gather Edna and I can't go. We've got young children, so we never get to go to these dances because we have to take giddy-wigs home to bed. But I was told it was an absolute scream and very worth going along to. Now, if you're a regular listener to Harry and Edna on the wireless, you know we always play a V-disc. And a V-disc is a victory disc. These were records, or 78 records, that were recorded by the stars of the day. And they were then sent out to the troops to raise morale. And our good friend Jeff in Charleston, USA, Watto Jeff, sent us an entire batch of these. And it's always a real pleasure to play these V-discs because, apart from the fact they're a bit old and scratchy, which adds a bit of... I think a bit of class or a bit of tone to the tracks. These tracks were especially recorded for the troops, and the chances are they've probably not been played on radio in maybe even like 50, 60 years. So I always think it's a real honour that we get to play these. Now, some of the artists are very popular that we know of today. Some have stood the test of time, and some I'm not so sure I know who they are. But I definitely know who this chap is. It's Mr. Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra. It's a very short track, as they are, unfortunately, on these 78s. And this is called Losers and Reapers.
Well, I've basically come today to get away from modern life, just have a nice vintage weekend, explain to members of the public that are interested about the vintage lifestyle, and just really sort of have a good time. And it's been great weather and a really nice day with some really nice people, talking to members of the public who have been very interested in what we do, and just promoting and commemorating the 40s way of life and 30s way of life. It's been good fun.
Explaining the 40s way of life. Now, that's a perfect reason to go to Baston and the Blitz. And it did actually fit in with this next track. I just had to quickly squeeze this in. I'm running very low on time, so I'll have to get the chatter down, the explanation to this down to a minimum. But at the time of recording this show, it's the nights are drawing in. It's going into autumn. It's getting a bit chilly. And on an evening when one's in my nightgown, I do like to wear my fez. It helps keep the old head warm in the house. Because I'll be honest, we haven't got around to lighting the fire yet. It hasn't got that cold. But I have been wearing the fez, and of course this greatly embarrasses the children, so it has lots of advantages for me wearing this fez. I'm not, well, their orders are I'm not allowed to go outside while wearing it. But in honour of the fez, here's Honolulu Baby with Laurel and Hardy.
While down on the South Sea Island, underneath the beauty of the stars, I strayed upon some maidens who were strumming on their guitars. A hula maid was dancing, and I knew I'd found my paradise. So this I just idolize. Honolulu, baby, where did you get that style? And those pretty red lips, and that sunny smile. When you start to dance, you hula hips and prance, then you shake it up and down. You shake a little here, you shake a little there, when you got the boys going to town. Honolulu, baby, you know your stuff. Honolulu, baby, gonna call your bluff.
I'm really gutted to have to do this, but I have to fade out young PUI Parvis there and Honolulu Baby because it's time for me to go. I have to say tinkly tonk, but I just want to quickly squeeze in this interview by the British Legion, recorded at Baston the Blitz, who do tremendous work.
I'm here with Thomas Brand, Vice Chairman of the Royal British Legion. Now, Thomas, can you please tell our listeners a little bit of background about the Royal British Legion?
The Langtoft, Deepings and Districts Royal British Legion branch look after all ex-service personnel that have, or current serving personnel. We look after them if they need help in times of need, or they want to retrain when coming out the forces, they need help in retraining, get back out into work, into civilian life, because it's a big step from coming out the forces into civilian life. But we also help those that were in the forces many years ago. A lot of our members are in their 70s to 90s, and we look after those as well and do a lot of welfare and visiting when they're not so well, so they have a friendly face and they know exactly what's going on within the branch and what's happening around the local community. So that's pretty much what we do.
So do you have weekly meetings, monthly meetings where you all get together, and is that kind of a social gathering where you actually help each other in that respect as well?
Yeah, we meet the third Wednesday of each month. We get together, we talk of upcoming events, we give updates of what's going on, because we have a welfare secretary, we have a membership secretary, we have an organisation, events organisation as well. So we relay back in the meeting of what's been happening over the months, what we've got coming up, parades, remembrance events, things like that. It's also a social event, because not many people can get out, and it's that one day that they do come out. We have a good laugh. It's like being back in the forces again. The banter flies all over the place because we have every service there: Navy, Air Force, Army, and the banter flies, and it's a good laugh, and we try and make it as amusing as possible.
Is it important for sort of ex-service personnel to meet up with each other? Is it kind of a good sort of reminisce session as well as sort of support for each other? Yeah,
it's again, for the older generation, it's good for those that can't get out. They get to see some old comrades and have a laugh, reminisce, but it's also good for those that have just come out, because it helps them get back into the community, realise that there are other ex-servicemen that are, have managed to get back into working life and back into civilian life. And again, it's reassuring everybody that's part of the Legion that help is there, and that they've got friends no matter what.
And the Royal British Legion isn't funded by any government body, is it? Is it something that stands on its own and seeks its own funding?
Yeah, we do. The Royal British Legion does a lot of its own fundraising. There's big chiefs that are down in London that do all the ideas and massive scale, and then you've got us, the local branches, that also fundraise for our local branches. So, like today here at the Baston in the Blitz, we've got little competitions going on to raise money for the branch, which goes to helping other people, branch members. It also goes to funding other events like our Armed Forces Day, which we hold here at Market Deeping. We use some of the money that we raise from here to raise awareness of the Armed Forces Day. Again, it's just to bring something back to the community, because the community gives a lot to the Armed Forces.
I guess people really associate Royal British Legion with the sort of poppy appeal Remembrance Day. Is that a big part of the Royal British Legion?
The poppy appeal is probably the biggest part of the Royal British Legion. That only happens once a year in November for 6 weeks. It's a 6-week period from the second week of October through to the last weekend of November. And yeah, it is a big thing, and people do associate the Royal British Legion with the poppy appeal. But the Royal British Legion is something that's all year round, and we look after those that are in the forces and that have been in the forces all year round. We help them when they're in hospital if they need to go. We help them when they come out. We look after them in other places. We do everything, as I say, all year round. So it's, yes, the poppy appeal is a big thing, but the Royal British Legion needs to be recognised all year round.
Mister, what you callin', what you doing today? Listen up, we've got something to say. We have got the perfect station for you, full of vintage tunes and interviews too. It's truly spiffing, what ho!
And tell you that Secklow Sounds exists to bring people and communities together to celebrate all that's best in the city. We produce a variety of music and speech programmes produced by local people, and we've been run by over 60 volunteers. And there's always room for more. So if you have a programme idea or a skill that you want to offer, you can email that to volunteers@secklowsounds.org.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Secklow Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Secklow Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.